Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and today I'm joined once again by my friend Alex to talk about Great American Families, Christmas Under the Northern Lights, starring Jesse Hutch, Jill Wagner, Bruce Boxleitner, and Lauren Holly. An author visiting a small town over Christmas is showing the area's stunning vistas and northern lights by a handsome local guide. Welcome back to the podcast, Alex.
Thank you for having me back on, Nicole. I'm really happy to be here. This movie, I really enjoyed this one. This was a great one for a Great American Family. I love Jill. I love Jesse.
Yeah.
I love Bruce Boxleitner's part, Lauren Holly's part. I just all around, I thought it was a really enjoyable Christmas movie to watch this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm excited to have you on to chat about it. I think it's going to be great.
It is going to be fun.
Yes. So what were your first impressions other than what you just shared for this movie?
Right. Like I said, I really enjoyed the story. I just felt like the whole story had the right amount of Christmas feels to it.
Yeah.
They had the Christmas market, then they had and just the whole overall story of Jill being the main character. She was a urban historian, a writer.
Yeah.
And she was trying to find her inspiration for her second book. And this led her back to her hometown of Aurora, where her dad's originally from.
Yeah.
And there she's able to find the inspiration again by meeting Trevor, Jesse Hutch's part. And I really enjoyed their romance, but I also enjoyed the other romance of her dad with
Laura.
Laura, yes, and their whole backstory throughout the movie I really liked. But yeah, like I said, I love the Christmas aspects of it. I had the Christmas tree cutting, the Christmas market, the Christmas dance, a lot of nice aspects of Christmas time, I felt like.
Yeah, I think so
What do
too.
you think?
My first impression is, how can we book a Northern Lights tour with Trevor?
Right. Right? I know. I want to book a tour with him.
I've never seen the Northern Lights.
I never have either. I know people that have gone to Iceland and has seen them, and they posted pictures on Instagram, and they say the experience is so much different than just posting the picture on Instagram. It's so gorgeous when you're there in the moment seeing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I want to go now.
Yes, me too. That would be so much fun.
It would.
I'm sure that there's been other Great American Family movies or movies on Hallmark that have the Northern Lights incorporated into them. But one of the only other Christmas movies I can think of that I know have the Northern Lights incorporated. It's not Hallmark. It's not Great American Family. It's a classic Christmas movie. You probably know what I'm going to say. The Polar Express.
Yes. Yep. That's what I remember from too. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie's 13 years old now. I'm I think about it. I remember seeing it when it first came out and being mesmerized by the whole story, and I loved it. But that's what I thought about too.
Yes, one of my favorite non-Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yes, mine too.
Yeah, or non-Great American Family Christmas movies, I should say, since we're talking about a Great American Family Christmas movie.
Right?
But anyway, back to Christmas Under the Northern Lights. I think that the cast were great in their roles.
Yes.
And I kind of would like to see a sequel with this one, to see more of
me too.
the characters. Yeah.
They could definitely do a second movie. And extend the stories.
Yeah, to see where the story goes, because we have both the dad and the daughter staying in town.
Yep. I agree.
So moving on to hits, what were some of the other things you liked, or any favorite or standout moments?
Some of my favorite scenes in this movie were between Trevor and Erin. I love the scene in the beginning. It's kind of a funny one where she heads off Erin to go get warmer clothing, and she's
Yeah.
trying to find the shop, and she runs into Trevor,
Mhm.
and they bump into each other,
Yeah, yeah.
and he takes her to the other store down the street,
Hmm.
and she buys like so many all the clothes that she
Literally
needs, right?
a
Like
whole
on just like
store.
so many bags. And then they're walking back, and she was gonna go back to her B&B to go eat. And she
Hmm.
goes, I was just gonna order room service. And she's standing there and she's like, does a B&B have room service? And she goes to Trevor, if there only was a guide. And Trevor goes to Aaron, oh, if there only was a guide to show me around. And she goes,
Yeah.
do you know anybody? I
Yeah.
thought that was a really cute scene.
Yeah.
But I also like the others. There was a couple two scenes I liked between Doug and Laura. I
Hmm.
like the first conversation they had when they not the first one, sorry, the second one they met and they were sitting down. It was like towards like
With
the
the
beginning.
with the hot cocoa. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and they were asking each other if
Yeah.
like what they've been doing like in their life,
Hmm.
and Doug tells Laura that his wife had passed away, and then
Hmm.
which was a sad part of the movie,
Hmm.
and then Laura tells him about like she's not married, but she has like a lot of nieces and nephews that keep her busy. I thought that was a sweet scene.
Yeah.
The scene where he takes her to see the bells, like I love that scene. That was like a
That's
really
that's my
pretty
favorite
scene.
scene.
The dancing scene at the end,
Hmm.
that was really
Yeah.
sweet. But yeah, but those are probably some of my favorites. What about you?
Yeah. That was my top favorite scene, I think, when they're at his family's land and he's
Right.
showing her and talking about the bells.
Yeah, yeah, like the
And
whole that story that she was
yeah,
telling her was very like sweet, was connected to his
yes, it started with his great grandma, and her favorite carol was I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, which was the inspiration for the
family.
Christmas tradition because of the message of the song, which is how peace prevails on earth.
Yes, very true. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's kind of ironic in the best way that there was also a Christmas movie that just premiered over Thanksgiving on Great American Family. I Heard the
Yep.
Bells.
Yes. Ironic. I didn't watch it, but it was probably good.
It
I
was
didn't
pretty
watch it, but
good.
yes. Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but yes, that is ironic.
Yeah. And a little sad too. So if you watch it, be prepared with tissues.
No, it looked like an
I won't
emotional one
I won't spoil it, but
from like the previews.
I loved the side story slash potential romance with Doug and Laura. We already talked about that. And
Yeah.
then the father-daughter relationship with Doug and Aaron, I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, I like that too. That's what I missed. That's what I forgot to say. But
Yes.
yeah, I like that.
I loved their talk right at the beginning at dinner about taking the Christmas trip together. And she's hesitant because she has work to do on her book
Yeah.
and she just can't say no to her dad.
No. Well, like you said, she was like thinking of it from like two
Mhm.
standpoints. She was thinking of it like, oh, this is gonna make my dad really happy to go back to his
Yeah.
hometown, but it's also gonna
Mhm.
help me as well gain inspiration for her
Yeah.
story. All right, that's what I forgot to add. I really like
Yeah.
the whole point of the story with the grandparents.
Hmm.
Like him, like they were her dad, Aaron's dad in the movie, Doug was thinking about
Yeah.
selling the grandparents' home, and he was like debating whether or not he was going to do it
Yeah.
throughout the movie. And I thought that was really sweet how they added that family aspect, like
Hmm.
family history, into the movie too. I thought that
Yeah.
was like a nice touch.
I think so too. And you gotta love a good meet cute. Trevor and Aaron's was hilarious.
It's so funny, so hilarious.
I love before she meets Trevor, she's talking to her dad, right outside, I guess, the airport. And, they're waiting for the tour company and she's
Mm-hmm.
asking, "Did you look at the reviews for this tour company before?" And he's like, "Nah,
I know.
I don't think we needed it." And she's like,
He's like, you gotta look at the review.
but of course it's understandable because he said that he knew
Well,
the
yes,
family.
he knew them.
So,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
exactly. Yep, he knew who they were. So
Yeah. And her getting his name wrong. She's like, Gregor
Gregor.
instead of Trevor.
Gregor. I'm like, of all the names she could come up with, she comes up with Gregor.
Gregor. And then the reveal of Trevor's bus, Sugar Plum,
Sugar.
named after his mom's favorite play, The Nutcracker.
Yes. Yeah. That was funny.
Yes, it definitely was. I loved the looks on Doug and Erin's face, especially Erin's face. She's like, we're riding in that.
I'm riding in that. She thought it was the other bus. She goes, I thought the other bus was yours. She goes, no, that's not our bus. That's our bus.
Yeah. Yeah. I also loved the first night when they're waiting for the Northern Lights. And
That was such a pretty, beautiful scene.
yeah,
The whole setting was like so pretty, like the trees and like the sun on
yeah,
the ground, like the benches and like the outlook.
yeah. They were listening to the ice
Yeah.
cracking.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor is sharing what he learned from his uncle and how it's not about chasing the Northern Lights, it's about showing why they exist. And then they talk about the true light of the season, which is
Mm, yes, which
the
is
birth of Jesus. Yeah.
yes, Jesus Christ. Yep.
Yeah, which is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So I love they
Yeah.
incorporated that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he shares the cookies that he baked.
Yes. Who doesn't love home baked cookies? Because I
Yeah,
do.
me too. My cookies never look like that.
No.
But that's
That's why I.
okay.
That's why I go eat. I go like very simple. I go chocolate chip cookies, Nicole, or I go like plain sugar cookies, and that's like the extent. I can't do all the pretty designs. Mine will come out horrible
I like decorating, but they never look like they do in
like
the
that.
movies, which is okay. I mean, all that matters is that you have fun. So,
Right.
but they're not intricate designs. Like we just put icing on them and sometimes sprinkles. Like we do
Mm-hmm.
very simple
Right.
designs.
Mm-hmm.
We already briefly mentioned this scene, but I love when they're in town and they had just gone shopping for
Mm-hmm.
her. And he says that, he thinks she bought out the whole store and she's like, you can't do that to me. I'm
Right.
likely to buy everything in there because it's cute.
That, was,
And
that would be me. That would literally be me. That's me shopping. You can't do that to me. You make me buy the whole store.
yep. I love when she says, by the way, is it winter? Because I can't tell.
I know, she was nice and warm. That was the funny part of the movie too. I like in the beginning she just didn't dress right in the appropriate clothing for Canada. It's
Yeah.
freezing in Canada. Like you gotta bundle up. But then
Yeah.
she finally got everything she needed. But I really love that scene too.
Yes, me too. And then they talk about their roots and Trevor's runs deep in Aurora with his family. And then she was saying, she isn't really sure of her roots because her mom was in the military, so she
Right.
moved around a lot, but her home is in
Mm-hmm.
Boston.
Yes. Yep.
At that moment, her home was in Boston, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all she like really knows. Like I like obviously her dad's
Yeah,
home is Aurora,
yeah.
but in a way it was her hometown
Hmm.
too. Like
Hmm.
so.
Yeah. I also loved when they were at the Christmas market and they were talking about dancing. So
Mm-hmm.
Erin had asked Laura, if her dad was a good dancer. And,
Right.
they're kind of flirting with each other.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then they have the caroling open mic. And,
Mm-hmm.
Erin doesn't want to do it. So she's asking all of them, do you want to do
Mm-hmm.
it? Do you want to do it? And they're like, nope. So she has to get up there and sing. And
Right.
she sings her mom's favorite Christmas song, which is Silent Night.
And that's like one of my favorite Christmas songs too. I love
It's
that
one of
one.
mine too. Yeah. I think it's one of my favorite religious Christmas songs.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
What one thing I also loved about that scene in the market, like just before like they cut to like they went to
Hmm.
the scene, did you notice that Jill's two daughters like were in that part of the movie, like they were on Santa's
No,
lap, they were taking a photo with Santa. I just noticed that today rewatching. I'm like, that's so cute. Yeah.
that's awesome. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I noticed that. I was like, wait a minute, those are Jill's kids. That was really cute. They added
Yeah.
them in there.
Yeah. I didn't notice that that was them or know that
Yeah,
it was them.
no, it was them.
Yeah. That's awesome that her kids were in the movie. What is your favorite non-religious Christmas song?
Oh my God, I have so many. Probably Winter Wonderland, probably one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree is probably one of
Yeah.
my favorites.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any like slow ones. Oh, the Christmas song, which is like a classic.
Oh, that's a good
Oh my
one.
God, that song makes me
Yeah.
cry. But those are probably like my three
Yes.
favorites I can think of right now. But there are others
Um,
too.
let's see. For me, I'll just name a couple. Winter Wonderland, which is one you mentioned, the
Yeah,
Christmas song. Um,
there's so many. Like there's so many to choose from.
I feel like there's one staring me right in the face. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas,
Oh, hmm,
the most wonderful time of the year.
yeah. There's so
Um,
many. That's the yeah. Those are the two
yeah.
good ones.
Like I'm literally tempted to pull out my Michael Bublé vinyl and like just read.
Let's pull it out. Just show us.
Yeah. Um, and then Christmas Day by Michael W. Smith. That is a beautiful
Ooh.
song.
Hmm.
And then I'll just name one more. It's actually a religious Christmas song by Michael W. Smith,
Hmm.
and it's called All Is Well.
Oh, I never heard that
Such
one.
a beautiful song. Yeah.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah. And he just released a version of that song with a newer artist. Her name is Riley Clemens, and she has a beautiful voice.
Ooh, I'll listen to it. Hmm.
Yeah.
Add
It's on
music.
iTunes, everyone. Go check it out.
Hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the movie. I love the scene. It's before they are looking for the Christmas tree, and
Mm.
he's asking her to walk across the lake, and then they see the caribou, and
Yeah.
then they mention the cold plunge, and she's like, I am not your girl for that.
Yeah. That would be me. Like nobody could pay me enough money in the world to go do that. No way. No way.
No,
I freeze to death. That's it. My life would be over. I just freeze to death in the water, then bye bye.
I can't. Mm-mm.
I can never. I don't know how people do that. Like I've seen videos when people that do that, like it's like a polar. What do they call it? Like a polar bear plunge. Like they run in the
Yeah.
water, like in the ocean. And they do it, and
Yeah.
it's like December. They're in the beach.
Ooh.
I'm like, how do people do that? I couldn't even put
Yeah.
one toe in the water. I was freezing. It's like it's too cold for me.
Yeah. I think it happens on
Right.
January 1st, at least
Right.
where I am.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I think it is the same with me too here. Like the January. Yeah.
New Year's.
Hmm.
I think it's a New Year's thing. Mm-mm. Not
No
for
way.
me.
Mm-mm.
I remember doing the ice bucket challenge back in 2012
Me
or
too.
13.
Me and my friends did it. Me and my friends did it. I was like, what? I was like, please don't make me do this to my friends.
That was like a big thing back then.
Oh, it was. I remember everybody I knew was doing it. I was like, I
Yeah.
gotta join the fun.
Yeah. And it was for a good cause. I mean, it was for
Right.
ALS.
No, it was. It was.
Yeah. But I remember when I did it, I think I was at my grandmother's house. And I think it was my brother who poured the ice on me. And I was like, "Ooh."
I did it myself. I did it to myself. I'm like, I'm doing this myself. There's no way no one's gonna pour it on me. I'm doing it.
Or maybe I did it on myself. I can't remember for sure.
It was not enjoyable. But it was for a good
No,
cause, like you said.
it was
You
for a
want
good
two
cause.
seconds for 2 seconds, I can do it for a good cause.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then going to when they are looking at the Christmas trees,
Hmm.
I love when he recites his poem from eighth grade English
Yeah.
class, which is the magic of a Christmas tree, a star on top for all to see. We all bring gifts on bended knee to remember the coming of the newborn king. That's
Mm.
beautiful.
No, very beautiful. And I was like, wow, he
Yeah.
wrote that.
Way to go,
Very
Trevor.
sweet. Yes.
I also loved Doug and Aaron's talk at the end. It's towards the end of the movie. They're talking about seeing the lights, or really not seeing the lights yet,
Hmm.
and how he's thinking about moving back to Aurora
Right.
and
Hmm.
not selling the house.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that scene too. That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking about throughout the movie. I'm like, that's probably what's going to wind up happening towards the
Hmm.
end. He's going to probably wind up not selling the house because it's so
Yeah.
like sentimental to his family's history.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for him to give that up, which I totally understand. If I was in
Yeah.
that position, I wouldn't be able to sell a house like that either if it was like
Yeah.
in my family for years. So I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
And then you gotta love a Christmas ball. I love when Doug tells Laura that he's decided to stay and not sell the
Mhm.
house. And then Erin mentions that she's gonna stay as well.
Yeah,
And then the dance between Trevor and Erin.
right.
And then right at the end, when they walk outside and they're
Hmm.
on his family's land again, and he gives her the bell. She talks about her book idea,
Right.
and she says that her great great grandfather was one of the first settlers of the town. So, she's going to focus on, I guess, the history of the town from
Hmm.
her family's point of view.
Right.
And then they hang the bell and they see the northern lights
Yes. Yep.
and they kiss.
Yep.
Such a sweet ending to a great movie.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. But one thing I also have to say to Nicole, I really enjoyed the conflict in this movie because I feel like it tied in well with the movie
Yeah.
itself. Like the conflict for her
Hmm.
was trying to find the right inspiration for her book, and then the
Yeah.
conflict for him with his job, Trevor's
It's,
job
hmm.
with the tour company. It was like handed down to him from his
Yeah.
grandfather or his uncle.
I think so.
Right, it was handed
Yeah.
down
Or his
through, I think,
parents.
yeah, I think it was his uncle
Okay.
or his
Yeah.
grandpa.
I'm pretty sure.
But you get the gist.
Yeah.
But I like he was having a hard time. Like he was trying to decide
Hmm.
because he feel like it wasn't paying well financially
Hmm.
for him. And like towards like the end of the movie, he was going to decide to go to like the other tour company because one of the
Yeah.
guys in the tour company kept like approaching him about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that tied in well with the movie because he loves what he
Hmm.
does, but it's not like paying bills.
Hmm.
So he was
Yeah.
trying to think about going another way, but then Aaron reminds him what he's doing because he
Yeah.
loves what he's doing and like it's true to who
Yeah.
he is. And like the same thing with her. Like he was telling her,
Yeah.
you got like don't sell a book just because you think you're gonna write what you think is gonna sell. Like write
Hmm.
what's in your heart, write what you
Yeah.
think is gonna make you happy when you write a book, which is right. I feel
Hmm.
like that book that conflict tied in well with his story in the movie and it gave it depth and I feel like the same thing with her. It gave Aaron's story depth. So
Yeah. I think so too. Moving on to our misses, was there anything that you didn't like or wished for in this movie?
right, me and you like we were just talking about this before we hopped on.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the romance between Trevor
Hmm.
and Aaron, but I feel like we could have gotten a little bit
Yeah.
more from it than what we got. Not that it was I didn't dislike it, but I feel like we could have
Yeah.
gotten more. But that's really it. That's the only thing that really I wasn't that like
Hmm.
over the like top about.
Yeah. I actually agree with you. That was one of my big things too. And then maybe it's just me, but I did want maybe just a little bit more Christmas, maybe a baking scene
Right.
or
Oh, that's like true to Hallmark and
yeah,
the family, the baking scenes. Yeah.
yeah. Or I'm trying to think of something else.
Right.
Or a sledding scene or something like that. Yeah.
I was about to say the sledding scene. I read your mind. Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, I feel like everything else that they did was very Christmas esque. Like
Yeah.
I said this in the beginning. They went to a Christmas market.
Hmm.
They did the Christmas tree
Yep.
cutting. That's all very true to Christmas time.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, the only other thing they missed too, they didn't do Christmas caroling.
Oh yeah.
That's
Christmas
something
tree
else.
decorating.
Right, that too. Yep.
That would have been fun to see.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I think the only other thing is I kind of wanted maybe a scene or two more of Erin and her friend Marlene, even from that one scene that we got.
Right. Yeah, I wish we would have got like another scene with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I, I thought they had a great friendship.
I agree.
But moving on to our ratings, what would you give the cast out of five?
I give them a 5. I love the
Mm-hmm.
cast. I thought they all like
Five.
worked like
Yeah.
really well together. I thought like Yeah, I
Hmm.
really like everybody that was in this movie.
Yeah, me too. The chemistry?
I'll give it a 4.
Okay, that's what I said too. Their chemistry didn't, you know, blow me away like
I
some
agree.
movies. But that's not to say it wasn't good. They had great
Yep.
chemistry together.
Hmm.
And I would love to see them work together again.
No, me too. I would love to
Yeah.
see them in another movie.
Christmas feels.
Yeah, me, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay, that's what
A
I
4.
said too.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it 4.5 instead of 4.
sounds good. And then setting.
Setting, I give a 5. Like I said, I feel like
Yeah,
it's very true Christmas-esque
yeah,
town. Yeah.
I agree. And then story.
Story, give it a 4.5.
Okay. I said four based on what we said with
Right.
wanting more in depth with
Mm-hmm.
Trevor and Aaron's
Right.
story.
Mm-hmm.
And then overall.
What will I give it? Trying to debate whether I should give it a 4 or a 4.5. I guess a 4. Yeah.
Okay. I said a four. So the
Mm-hmm.
same as you.
Right.
We have a lot of the same
I
thoughts, I say
know. That's
again.
why I try to like change my answer because I'm like I gotta say something different than Nicole. I can't keep having the
Uh,
same thoughts as her.
I don't even know if that math adds up properly, but
Oh
it's
well.
okay. But this was so much fun, Alex. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time.
Yes, I did too. Yes, thanks for having
Of
me on
course.
again.
And I can't wait to do it again in the
Yes,
future.
looking forward to it.
All right, everyone. I think that wraps up our review of Christmas Under the Northern Lights. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share your thoughts about the movie in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when new episodes come. You can also find the podcast on Instagram and Facebook at Swing My Heart Podcast and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.